A Bahamian named as the new head of the local power company. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jerome Sawyer.
And I'm LaDawn Davis. The Bahamas Power and Light Company is continuing its push to turn the fortunes of the company formerly known as the Bahamas Electricity Corporation. That push involves a policy of putting Bahamians at the helm. Tonight, Chris Saunders is live with the announcement of the person's name to head B.P.L. Chris?
Good night, LaDawn. Thanks a lot. Now, the board appointed a current sitting board member as CEO. He'll take over that organization immediately. Whitney Heastie, an engineer by profession, takes over B.P.L. effective today. He was actually appointed to the board back in July, though. Before returning to Nassau, Mr. Heastie was a part of a team at Grand Bahama Power focusing on fixing many of the technical problems that organization was faced with. Before that, he spent more than 2 decades in the United States at many industrial facilities. Also appointed today, but won't take over until next month, is Ms. Christina Alston. Ms. Alston is a Freeport native. She will leave Georgia Transmission Corporation as the Director of Supply Chain Services. Ms. Alston also has extensive experience in transmission and distribution among rural areas, very similar to the landscape here in the Bahamas. Both of them excited about this turn.
This is a fantastic opportunity for me. I want to say how proud I am as a Bahamian to be here today. I am so excited to have this opportunity. I've spent so many years wanting to be able to come home and really address some of the problems that I understood that the Bahamas was facing. What the board has done is really been able to tap into all of my skill sets.
The time that I would have spent on the ground here in the last 3 months made me aware that the task is not unsurmountable, but it's a lot of work to be done. I think what we recognize in the time as a board, and certainly me personally, is that we have a team that can certainly accomplish the mission that we have set out before us. And I feel very confident that in due time, the Bahamian people will see the results of the hard work that we're going to put forth.
Interesting to note with Ms. Alston and the new management team, there's going to be a focus on biomass cogeneration, or really changing waste into energy and renewable energy. So B.P.L. could be moving into that arena in an effort to reduce generation costs and thereby cutting costs to the end consumer. Again, Mr. Heastie takes over as CEO immediately. Ms. Alston takes over November 13th. In the newsroom, I'm Chris Saunders, ZNS Network News.
Chris, just before you go, B.P.L. has really been on a roller coaster ride in the past few months when you look at the changes at the very top of the board, etc. Any indication from these folks at this point what some immediate goals maybe? I mean, consumers are constantly complaining about the power outages, etc. Any announcement today about their goals in the immediate future for the company?
One of the first things Ms. Alston and Mr. Heastie said that they want to do as soon as they take over is start a 90-day plan to set out some specific milestones in terms of making sure that the end consumer, Bahamian people, get the best bang for their buck, essentially. One of the first things that they're going to be looking at is they're going to be having the winter overhaul. And again, the peak season here in the Bahamas and most of this world is during the summer. So during the winter months, they're able to take down some of their generators to be able to really overhaul them and get them prime for when we get into a peak season. And that's really what they're looking at, to make that efficient generation possible to allow for better focus on not only transmission but also distribution throughout our communities.
Thanks a lot, Chris. A lot of interesting news. Certainly, I'm sure a lot of people will be watching B.P.L. over the next few months to see just how things transpire.